and sheet to try to fall asleep, wondering why I'm the only one.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my Lowlife Podcast, and as the title suggests, this is called my Lowlife Podcast, not the Lowlife Podcast, my Lowlife Podcast. And basically I titled it with the word my instead of the, like what it should have been, is actually because it's supposed to be about my life and about the lives of other people that are on the show. And it's supposed to be a lot more personal and it feel a lot like more like you're talking to me instead of just listening to a podcast. As you all know, last Sunday I didn't. I record these every Sunday and post them every Tuesday. But last Sunday I did not record a podcast. The reason I did that was because I was actually in Rushville, Illinois, with a bunch of friends that I love them all dearly. And it was my 18th birthday. I am officially 18 and 7 days old at the moment. Yeah, it was honestly the best day of my life. But the thing I wanted to talk about was basically I've started daily vlogging. So as a lot of you know, I want to be a filmmaker when I grow up. Like, that is my dream. That is my passion. I also really, really love photography and would love to be able to do that for a living too. But yeah, so because of that, I decided I need to make more content for my channel. And doing a video a week wasn't working out, or doing 2 videos a week also wasn't working out, because then I have to plan the video and record it, and I would usually do that on Thursday night because I would always post Fridays. And I'm like, that doesn't work, so I stopped. And then over the summer I did a video a week on Thursday. That also didn't work out too well. And then I was thinking about it, and I hadn't posted anything in a long time, and I was like, this isn't what I want. And then I watched Vlogumentary, and I was like, yeah, I've seen Vlogumentary before, but I watched it again, and I'm like, I need to start making more consistent videos. And the only way I know I can do that is if I do vlogs that are daily, where that means every day I have to record and edit and post a video, which is a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort. And honestly, for the way I am, it's really awkward, because I'll ask people, like, is it okay if I record here? Is it not? Or are you okay with being on camera? Then sometimes I won't even be able to use footage from that. And it's just it's a lot of stuff that's going on, and you have to constantly make sure you have a video every day, and that's a lot of work. But I set myself up to the task because I wanted to be a filmmaker, and I knew for being a filmmaker you would have to do that every single day. You would have to record, you would have to write, you would have to edit. Even though there isn't writing involved in these vlogs, I still have to constantly be thinking of what I could do that day to make up for the allotted time that I need in a single video. So I was just I'll go over the different videos that I've made in the past week, because there are currently 7 on my channel at the moment. Just gonna open up my channel. Bear with me. It's gonna be a couple seconds. Okay. So on Sunday, or not on. Okay, actually, let's go back to Friday. Last Friday, well, a week before Friday, I went to Ember, which is a Christian, it's a Christian youth gathering. Play games, have a special speaker, which actually happened to be Mike from Rushville, from the Rushville camp video, and have a little talk group and all that, eat food, just have a good time. I met new people there, and I was very fortunate to meet them because they're pretty awesome, although I don't really get to talk to them that often. But yeah, that happened Friday, and then Saturday I woke up early for once on a Saturday, and I went to Darcy's house. And from Darcy's house, me, Darcy, Isabel, and Austin all drove. Well, Isabel drove to Rushville. Austin, me, and Darcy at one point were all asleep, and Isabel got mad at us for it. but yeah, we went to Rushville. We got to Abigail's house, and her dad brought out his guns, and we were able to shoot different, like, many awesome looking weapons. Just your basic guns though. And then we met up with Ashley at this Mexican place, and they're like, "Oh, Henry, you have to get the Allen Special." So I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna get the Allen Special." They were right. It was pretty good. I will admit. And I asked if I could get a spicy version of it, so they put like jalapenos and stuff in it, and oh my god, it was so delicious. But then we got home, or we got okay. Whenever I travel, no matter where I'm staying, that is what I call home. Like I'll say, like, whenever I'm at a hotel, like, that's home. Like if I say, "Oh, we're gonna go back home," I mean there. So we went back home, which was Abigail's house, and we just we hung out for a while before I actually fell asleep, and on one of the couches, and everybody else was still awake. And apparently, because I didn't think I fell asleep, I thought I was just had my eyes closed, and then I woke up, and they all start laughing, and I'm like, "Why are you guys laughing?" First of all, it had just hit. It was like 12:01 in the morning when it happened, so it was actually on my birthday. But they all started laughing. They said, "Look at your wrist." So I look at my wrist, and I see in Sharpie a smiley face drawn on my wrist, and I'm like, "Oh, very funny." And then they said, "Look at your leg," and I'm like, "Oh God, what's gonna happen?" And I look at my leg, and it has Austin wrote his entire phone number all the way up my calf, or not my calf, my shin. And I was like, "Thanks for the birthday present." It was funny. Actually, something like that happened the next day too. But yeah, so I woke up on Sunday, like officially woke up, and we had to go to church and all that. But that was when I fully committed to making the videos, where I brought out the camera and I introduced the daily vlog, and it was a scary, very scary like it was really scary, but it was much needed for me. And okay, so yeah, we went to church. I didn't record there, and then as we were after church, it was lunchtime, so we went to Abigail's grandma's house, and holy crap, that was the best food I have ever had in my entire life. It was ham, and it was ham sandwiches. Then there was beans, like really well made beans, mashed potatoes, and the mashed potato, like, you think mashed potatoes, like, there's a couple lumps in it. No, this stuff, there was no lumps whatsoever anywhere in the mashed potatoes, and they were perfect. And then I put some sweet corn over it, and I drizzled some gravy on it. That was really good. Then she had fresh fruit, so I had a whole bunch of blueberries, because I absolutely love blueberries. If you didn't know, blueberries is my favorite, like, fruit to eat. My favorite flavor is raspberry. Yeah, so I had blueberries, and I was really happy with that. And then for dessert, she had this, I don't know, it was some chocolate vanilla wafer cake, and it was, whew, man, that woman can cook. I would drive down 2.5 hours, or drive up the 2.5 hours to go to Rushville every single Sunday just to eat her cooking. But so yeah, we had that, and then I introduced everybody to the video, so that way when you're watching, you know who everybody was, which was Abigail, Darcy, Isabel, Austin, and Ashley. Then we met up with other people. So then we went. So after dinner, or after lunch, we went to Walmart, which is in Beardstown, not Rushville, Beardstown, and that was where I found my new favorite hat. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a golf hat or something like that. If you go back to watch the video, there's a clip of me like showing it off. But I bought that hat, and I literally wear it 90% of the time that I'm wearing something on my head at the moment. Like, it is, it's so comfortable. It looks so good, and it's perfect for me. And it was only $3, so I was really happy with that. Yeah, so then we, from Target, from Walmart, we went to the campgrounds where I stayed and made the Rushville Family Camp 2017 video. And we hung out there for a little bit, and we met up with Sam, which is the guy that is, like, he looks like he should be my brother, he sounds like he should be my brother, we have the same laugh, we have the same personality, sense of humor, same morals, like, the way we think is pretty much identical. The only difference is I'm 18 and he's 22. So, and the fact that he has a little more, his hair is a little more red, and his face is like always super red. Mine is like generally white. Besides that, like, we look like brothers, and people kept on getting us confused throughout all of the camp. But yeah, so we met up with him, and then we drove and got, what is it called? Oh, I forgot the name. Dairy Queen. That's what it is. We drove and got Dairy Queen. And I got my usual Heath Blizzard. Dude, I love Heath Blizzards. Like, before, I would always get, like as a kid growing up, and I would always get the same thing. It would always be an M&M Blizzard. And then I realized that they had a turtle pecan blizzard, and dude, I went all over those because I love turtles, like the little chocolate with caramel and pecans in them. Those are absolutely delicious. But then my dad would always get a Heath bar, and I would be like, why would you get that? And because I had never tasted Heath, which is basically I think it's toffee. I don't know what it is. What's inside. But it's really, really good, and I get it every single time. Well, most of the time. Sometimes I'll go back to a turtle pecan cluster. Yeah, we got those. Then I officially turned 18 because I was born about 6 o'clock. Actually, funny story. When I was the day that I was supposed to be born, my dad was told I was going to be born at 6 o'clock. And he thinks it's 6 a.m., so he gets up at about 3 a.m., gets ready, does all this stuff, and gets to the hospital like before 6 a.m. And then the doctor's like, "Oh, it's supposed to be 6 p.m., not a.m." And he was like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna be stuck here all day." He always complained to me about that, but I thought it was funny. So then we go meet up with Janie, and go to Janie's house, and she has a fire going, and then she actually has a bunch of four-wheelers, or I didn't actually know they were called this, but ATVs. Like, I was like, oh, ATV, what is that? And then I slowly figured out that they were talking about the four-wheelers. So we went riding around that. I actually almost died because so there was 4 of them, and I was the third one from the front, and I tried to like pass them both, and imagine like a trapezoid shape, like that was what we were riding on. So I tried to go on the side that's like slanted and pass 2 people, and I ran into a ditch. Everything worked out fine. Like, my luck is, like, I test my luck way too much, but they told me that the four-wheeler was literally on 2 wheels at one point, which I don't believe them because I didn't feel that. And I was actually not as nervous as I should have been. They're all like, "Oh, you looked really nervous." Like, no, like, you know what? Like, whenever you're like trying really hard, how you stick your tongue out, and it's like almost like you're biting it, but you're not. It's like you're biting it with your lips. Like, that's basically the face I made. But I was able to surpass them and go from third to first, which I was happy about. But they yelled at me so much. But I got a lot of good photos, and I got a lot of good video from that one scene. And that's why it became my thumbnail. So yeah, then Sierra and and Kevin came, and we all sat around the fire eating hot dogs and s'mores and stuff. Then Sierra, Kevin, and Janie had to leave, so we went back to Abigail's house, and had another bonfire there before finally going to bed. But I fell asleep on that same couch and that's where Abigail is supposed to be sleeping, and she tried to wake me up, but she felt bad for like if she would have shook me awake. So she pulls out this like those toy rifles that make sounds and all that, and like they're just plastic, like that, but they're almost the right size. Well, she took one of them and just started poking me in the face with it, and like putting it in my like poking my mouth and poking my nose and like my face and all that. And I actually Ashley got video of it, so I actually knew what was happening. But yeah, if Abigail, if you're watching that, or if you're listening to this, thanks for that. I really, really appreciate it. That was a lie. I'm not actually appreciation of that. I can speak English correctly, can't I? But yeah, then the next day we had like we got up late, or I got up early, or I also got up early. I got up a little later, and then all the girls got up later except for Abigail, who went to volleyball. But I sat there all morning editing until the girls woke up, and then we had lunch, and then we had to leave. And I hate saying goodbyes. That's why, like, for me, a goodbye is like a quick hug, and then I say see you and walk off, because I hate that whole confrontation, because I just don't want to leave. But yeah, so we had to leave, and then when I got home, I don't remember what I did. What did I do? I did something, I feel like. I know I went for a drive, and I went down this like a regular street that people drive on, but I went all the way down to the end of it, and I found this abandoned place, or not abandoned, but it was like some mill, and I had never been there, and I was sitting there, I'm like, this is weird, I don't know where I am. So I had to turn around and go back, and it was raining at that point. But then episode 3 was the first day of school coming back from that weekend, which was Tuesday, and I went through, and it was a normal, for the most part, day of like after you come back, but I did have a thing. So like the week before, I saw Jared while he was in his 4th hour, which was photography for him, and we were tasked with taking photos of like taking like little action figures or cars or whatever, and like putting them in places and making them look really, really big, by like zooming in really close. And he had cars, and I accidentally picked one up, and I dropped it upside down, and it scuffed off the paint, so I felt really, really bad about it. So I told myself I was going to buy him a new car, or I told myself that, but I didn't tell him that. So I got the car, and then when I saw him at band, I gave it to him, and like, actually, for once, I've never actually seen it happen, but his face lit up, which was surprising, which is definitely why the thumbnail is Jared doing that, because I was like absolutely surprised that was happening. And then the next day we had him and I worked on another project where it was called Force Perspective, where it's like one of those pictures where like someone's in a really far background, and like you're really close to the camera, and it looks like you position yourself to where it looks like you're holding picking the person up almost. It was like photos like that. So I got one of Jared picking my car up. I got one of the car running over Jared, but Jared's like really, really small. And then I forgot what the other photo was. It was me like with my finger pointing out, and it was like supposed to be tickling Jared, who was like further back, so it looked like it was a giant finger like poking him or tickling him or something like that. And then Jared had a picture of my foot crushing my car, but my car looked like it was a toy, like it was smaller than my foot. And then we had a photo of me standing on Jared's finger, and I forgot what the other photo was. What was it? Doesn't matter. Yeah, that was the 4th day. This is basically just a rundown of everything that's happened. Now, on episode 5, which was a Thursday, I had absolutely no idea what I was going to shoot for that day. Like for like out of the entire week, I just did not know what I was gonna do. But luckily, Fahad actually the took my camera during fourth hour, which we had a long period, and like him and Christy just messed around with my camera, and I was like, it looked like I was annoyed, but I was actually really, really happy because I was really worried that it was like I wasn't gonna figure out anything, and like literally that Thursday, nothing happened. Like that, I did nothing. So I was really happy with all the footage that they gave me. And then of course on with my sixth episode, Pattonville. I'm in Pattonville High School, and I play in the marching band. And every home game, the marching band has to play for the varsity football games. Like we play our halftime during halftime, and then during first, second, and fourth period, we play pom tunes or like different songs like whenever, and do cheers and all that to like hype up the team and to give the crowd something to like look at and listen to besides just like yelling and sweaty boys and stuff. Okay, so all that day I actually was feeling really, really sick. Like I had bad drainage problems where you're like constantly like coming up and spitting, or it's like mucus coming out of your mouth and you have to like spit it out, and it was terrible. Like I was absolutely gone. And then my nose was constantly clogged, and I had to constantly blow my nose. But it was really weird because I didn't have a headache. Like usually when you have that kind of sickness, you have a headache, but my head didn't hurt whatsoever. So I was worried that I wasn't gonna be able to play the game. And actually, when we got there, we had to take photos and all that, and it was hot, and we were in a lot of clothing, and I was like sick and stuff. And dude, I literally was on the brink of passing out. Like I almost could not. Like when we were standing there practicing before going out for pregame, I literally was about to pass out. Like it's never happened before. I've never, that I know of, passed out in my entire life, but I felt myself about to do so. Like I was literally standing there. My legs were like on the verge of giving out, and like my eyes were like, I was blacking out, and that's like it was a scary opportunity for me because not only was I surrounded by a bunch of people, and I had my camera in my pocket. I was and I'm in weight training, so every day we do every time we have that class, we do a different like what's it called, exercise. And Fridays for me are squats day, and I pushed myself really far, so my legs were literally like shot. And with being sick, it was all these factors came together, and I was like, I would hold up my finger, but you can't see because it's a podcast, but like imagine the length, like the width of a single thread of a bow staff that you would use to play like a cello or something like that. Imagine one of those threads. That's how close I was. Like I was gone. But luckily after pregame, I like everything just came together. Like I snapped back together. Like all the pieces were finally put together, and I was whole again. I still felt kind of bad, but I could move, I could talk, I could be my lively self. And I was so happy that it, like, because literally I think it, like the whole, like, you know how you're like, oh, just sweat it out. I think it worked, because like I sweat so much normally, and when I'm wearing long sleeve clothing, I sweat so much, and when I'm wearing pants, I sweat so much, like even in winter times. And then the fact that it was a hot day and I was sick, and I couldn't, my legs were shot, like all those came together, and it's just it put me through hell, and then put me in a cold bath. Like it was just a rush of just absolutely like great feeling. And yeah, for the rest of the game I was able to stay pretty hyped. I talked to different friends, I recorded a bunch of stuff, as you saw. I was even able to yell. Like usually, okay, here's the thing. I don't lose my voice easily, like, or really at all. Like there's not there. I think there's one time in my life I actually remember losing my voice. Like you go to like Six Flags or something with me, like I will scream the entire time, not lose my voice whatsoever. But yeah, so I was able to go through all that, and I was completely fine, and I was so happy because I was super worried about, like, you know how Thursday I was worried about not getting any content? Friday I was also worried about not getting any content or being able to survive the game or the rest of the day. I was going to say, so I was talking to one of my friends, Zach, and he's in college at the moment, but one of his friends is living in Florida right now, and I don't know if you're listening to this later, this is the time that Irma is coming through, or it was like by that day she hadn't hit Florida, but she was about to, and there was evacuation, and Zach's like, yeah, one of my friends forgot to evacuate. And I looked at him like, how do you forget to evacuate? He's like, yeah, he just didn't know that there was a hurricane coming and didn't realize the fact that everybody left and there was no one around. But luckily he was like on the he was on the top floor of his building and he had enough food and water to survive. So hopefully he'll make it out. He'll make it through. I have high hopes he will, because stupid people somehow can make it through that sort of stuff. But yeah, I found that very funny. I told multiple people. But then yesterday was the last video that is uploaded at the moment. I'm about to finish the video that is for today later. But the last video that I have uploaded was yesterday, which was the carnival. And that was absolutely a lot of fun. It was me for the majority of the time. It was me, one of my sophomore friends from band, and then a bunch of freshmen from band or from marching band, and I was the oldest one there, like by far, and it was weird, but I had a lot of fun because like I was with the actual good freshmen from the band, because a lot of them are really stupid. A lot of them done stuff that even I'm afraid of. Like, I'm like, dude, that's too far. Like, whoa. But these were the good freshmen. And Christian came by later, and we were like, I was able to. He was able to join us, which I was happy about, to have another friend. But it was a blast. Like, last year when I went, I had no one. Like, I went by myself on a lot of the rides, which is kind of sad. Like, it's like literally I had no one to ride with that entire time. Like, because it's a weekend thing, but I was only able to go on Saturday because of the game Friday. But like last year, I just did everything. I rode the Octopus by myself. I rode the Pharaoh by myself. The Roundup, all the popular rides, all by myself. But this year I had like a group of, I don't know, a minimum of 6 people at a time with me. So I was so happy about that. And yeah, I'm surprised I was able to get this far in the what is it called? In the podcast, like just by myself without even thinking of anything. Something I wanted to say today. So I vape. We all know this. And I had dropped after work. I had dropped my mod, and I had dropped it a bunch of times before. But it was always in. It was still in working condition. This was the last time, and it just didn't work. So I had to get money from my dad, which I hate asking for money. But I got money, and I went and I had to get a new mod. And the mod that I have now, is really, really good. I absolutely love it. Is it turned off? Okay. And it has a giant screen on it, and it looks really aesthetically pleasing. The only problem is I'm not able to charge it normally, so I have to take the batteries out and put it in my old mod. in order to charge it, which absolutely sucks, but it's whatever. So, and I hate it because so there's on the batteries that they have, there's a sealant and stuff, and I was just told about all this today, and of course I put in the batteries wrong, and as I'm taking it out, I tear one of the sealants on it, which is not good. You should not do that whatsoever. And I felt so bad, and even now, as soon as that happened, I immediately started to sweat because I just please let everything be okay. And I'm still thinking that, please let everything be okay, because I cannot afford anything else bad happening. Yeah, so I'm besides the battery, I'm all set for vape for a while, I think. I hope. Yeah, that's really what's been happening the past week. I planned for at least going for 30 minutes, not knowing that this entire thing would take 30 minutes. So I'm just going to go a little bit longer, probably to about 40 minutes or so. Just talk about... so this, like I said in the beginning, this is called my Lowlife Podcast. And the reason I chose Lowlife not only is... part of the reason was because I like the song "Lowlife" by Poppy, and it's such a good song that I also like. I think it's just called "Low." That one song is like "low, low, 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 low." That one, it's I like both of those songs. So I was I'm gonna go with "Lowlife," but it's also because I don't particularly like my life at the moment. Everything's been getting better. And especially after that Rushville, starting at that Rushville trip that happened a week ago, life has gotten significantly brighter, and I've made more friends. I've gotten closer to more friends. I've been able to hang out with more people. I've started vlogging. I've started doing all these things that make me happy, and I had to do that because for some reason I am pulled there's very few times that I start drama because I don't like starting drama, because I don't like being a part of drama. But I accidentally started some drama with a few people, and it was okay. So I like girl A, and a guy A liked girl A, so we both liked her at the same time, and she was from my perspective, this is completely my perspective, say what you want, but that's what I'm going to tell you. I thought she liked both of us, and she was still really, really touchy. So girl A and guy A dated for a while, for a year, over a year, a year and a half, a year and 9 months, something like that. And it was toward the end, it was a bad relationship. They both they from what I hear, they both cheated on each other, and it was just really bad. And I'm girl A, you have to stay away from him. Nothing good's gonna happen. It just brings you pain. That's what you tell me, and a whole bunch of stuff. And then I'm sitting there and I'm in tears. I don't cry. And I know I'm not just saying that because I'm a tough boy. I'm a man. Men don't cry. No, I just don't cry. I cry when I yawn sometimes, and I cry when my favorite character dies in a show. But besides that, I don't cry ever. But I was in tears for multiple days. Couldn't eat anything more than carrots and grapes for an entire week, which is surprising because I eat a lot. And I couldn't put down anything more than a few grapes, couple pieces of celery, and a couple pieces of carrots for an entire week. And it was during band camp, which is the week that you're constantly working outside in the heat, and you need that extra energy that I just didn't have because of my appetite, because of that whole situation. And I kept on telling girl A, I'm hey, if this continues, I'm going to walk away. Hey, if this continues, I'm going to walk away. Hey, if this continues, I'm going to walk away. And finally, I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm walking away. And I walked away. Absolutely. Stopped talking to her. Stopped talking to guy A. Just cut them both out of my life. Didn't look at them. Didn't do anything. Didn't, like, just acted like I just don't. Like, you know when you walk in the halls and you see, like, someone, you don't know them? Basically, that's how I acted toward her. I'll see her, but I don't know her, sort of thing. And, well, recently, as of like 2 weeks ago, she started dating one of my friends, and I told him, we're just going to call him Guy B. I told B that I was like, dude, don't date her. And he's like, well, I already started dating her, and I don't see anything wrong with it. I looked at him, and I'm like, nothing good is going to come from this. It's going to, like, all the drama's going to come back. It's all going to explode in my face. Everything's going to be my fault. We're probably going to stop being friends. That's, like, I told him that sort of stuff. And he's like, oh, no, that won't happen. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Now, at the moment, B is still one of my friends, I think. Like, we can talk, and as long as we haven't brought girl A up at all, and I never mentioned her, and he never mentioned her, so I think we're cool for the most part, because we talked before 4th hour, but it was just, so he kept on asking me questions about what happened in that whole situation, and every time I answered a question, I would start off with saying, this is my perspective, this is what I know, this is what I've learned, and this is what I've been told, and not necessarily being true, that this is just my perspective. And I tell him that every single time I answer a question, like, hands down. And he would say, okay, and I would tell him what I thought. And he asked me something, and I told him, I said that whole thing, and then I told him the answer, and he said, okay. And then he told that to her. And she's like, oh, let's start a rumor about this and but blow it out completely out of proportion. So she starts a rumor, and she blames me for starting it. So everybody already hates me at the moment. Like because she said, oh, Henry said this about me, and this never happened, and I feel so bad, and please give me attention, sort of thing. And it was a rumor about A. It was a rumor about guy A, and it was a bad one. Like if any adult heard this, guy A would, like, there would be no, she would pretend to be the innocent one that wants, and she would just be getting all the attention she wanted, and guy A would be in trouble even though he didn't do what she said, even though he didn't do what she said I said he did, sort of thing. And it just was completely blown out of proportion, and I was at another low. Like, this was right before I left for Rushville. This was right before it happened the Thursday. It happened the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before me going to Rushville for the second time. And I was sitting there, I'm like, dude, I need this vacation so much. Like, that's part of the reason why I'm thoroughly enjoyed it, because it was just away from all the drama with a bunch of people I love. Yeah, it's just, I don't know why, but for some reason, no matter how much I walk away from the drama always seems to come back to me. I can completely stop talking to everybody, and somehow I'll be in some kind of drama. Like, it's always been confusing with me, because I've just been I'm the easy enemy. Like, they're like, oh, we need to blame this on someone. Who should we blame it on? Henry. Let's blame it on Henry. Everybody doesn't like him. Everybody thinks bad things about him. Everybody spreads these terrible rumors. I've had so many people be like, Henry, I don't like you. And I'm like, who are you? Like, I've never seen you in my life. How do you even know who I am? And it's just so many things. Like, people have said so many bad things about me. Like, some of them are true. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Some of the things I've done, I'm not proud of. Some of the things I've said to people, I'm absolutely not proud of. But I'm not bad as, or at least I'm not as bad as everybody says I am. And it's just, it tires me. Like, I'm just tired of all the, of just always being the enemy, and it's stupid. And it's literally happened to me since kindergarten. Like it's now I'm really thinking about it. Like, I've always been the person that everybody can make fun of, the person that everybody can pretend to be friends with and then laugh behind their back. Like, we all know that person that, like, everybody will smile at them, but as soon as they walk away, it's chat. Oh, did you hear what he did? Oh, let's talk shit. That's me. I'm that person that everybody smiles at, but behind my back, let's just say stuff. I don't understand it. Like, I'm completely fine with it because, like fuck you. Like honestly, fuck you. But it's just, it doesn't make sense. Like, why would you do that? Like, it's just, like, am I that more interesting that you have to talk about me? Am I I must be 20 times better than you for your life for your pleasure, like your pleasure in life to be trying to put me down. Like, you can, like, the whole words or sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Words hurt. But just like being punched, you can always stand back up. Just like being punched, you can always, like, the first one will hurt, the second one will hurt less, third one will hurt less. And by the time you're where I am, it doesn't pain. It honestly doesn't hurt anymore. It hurts when everybody does it. Like, I can handle one person easily. I can handle two people easily. I can handle 5 people easily. But if I'm on a team and it's everybody hating me, I can't handle that. If I'm in band and everybody hates me, I can't handle that. If I'm in a classroom and everybody hates me, I can't handle that. I can handle 1 or 2 people at a time, but I just can't handle everybody at the same time, because that's just, as so much. I think I've been getting to the point where I can handle everybody. It's just, I don't like to, because that takes a lot of effort, especially now when my efforts can be going towards school and toward making these podcasts and making these daily vlogs. Yeah, so I think I've talked enough during this podcast. If you like listening and you have gotten this far, please, in the comments, say, or if you got this far in the comments, say the word guy A, like guy, like GUY space the letter A. Just say guy A if you've gotten this far in the video. Just for me to know, like, if anybody's actually listening. And if you have gotten this far, like, actually do it. Like, I'm serious. Like, I want to know who's actually listened this far into the vlog or into the podcast. Thanks everybody for listening and for giving me your time. I've been Henry, and this has been my Lowlife Podcast. I'll see you guys next week.